America is at a crossroads. We are facing a multitude of challenges that threaten to tear apart the very fabric of our society today. The question on everyone's mind is whether we are losing our grip as the most powerful nation on earth and turning into a shithole country. It's a harsh reality that we must face head-on. One of the biggest issues we are grappling with is the influx of migrants seeking a better life in our country. While we want to present ourselves as a kind and welcoming nation, we cannot ignore the fact that our resources are limited. The pandemic has taken a toll on our economy, leaving many without jobs or adequate resources to survive. Homelessness is on the rise due to the high costs of living, with many individuals struggling to find stable housing and access to basic necessities. Rents jumped 30.4% nationwide between 2019 and 2023, while wages during that same period rose 20.2%. A slew of companies across the tech, media, finance, and retail industries made significant cuts to staff in 2023. Those who are homeless do not have access to the kind of care they need to overcome substance use disorder, which is almost always a significant barrier to finding stable employment or securing permanent housing. Our prisons are overpopulated, and the government's solution is to raise the threshold for what constitutes a grand theft from over $400 worth of goods a decade ago to $950 worth of goods now. This doesn't serve us any good, except only emboldens the criminals, leading to a surge in theft and burglary. Local businesses are suffering as a result, with many being forced to close their doors due to constant theft and vandalism. Cities like San Francisco are becoming ghost towns, with residents fleeing in search of safer environments. The local businesses, where locals would buy their basic necessities or dine at, are disappearing, leaving them stranded and struggling to survive. It is a travesty to see our own citizens living on the streets while we spend money to accommodate migrants. Buses transport them to housing facilities where they can access resources, while our homeless population continues to grow. The most vulnerable among them, including seniors, young adults, and women, are left to fend for themselves on the streets. Young adults, both men and women, can easily become victims of substance abuse on the streets. Property owners are facing a new threat in the form of squatters who take over vacant properties and force owners to go through lengthy legal battles to reclaim their homes. The government's attempt to raise minimum wages has also backfired, leading to job losses and higher prices for consumers. Consumers are reluctant to pay higher prices for fast food. Now, not only there will be a hike in menu prices, fast food businesses across the state will cut staff levels to reduce costs too. So those people who formerly had a job working at these fast food places will likely become unemployed. Another dire problem we face recently has to do with all these protests in support of Palestine. Many of these protests had started out as peaceful, then turned violent, with university properties being vandalized and destroyed. While freedom of speech is a fundamental right, engaging in criminal activities is absolutely not acceptable. We must hold those responsible for such actions accountable and ensure that our laws are upheld. Some of these properties are given to the students who have paid tuitions to be utilized as campus resources like books from the library, computers, printers, and tutoring centers. Plus, we already have enough problems in America, so for those who want to migrate and settle down in this country, they will need to comply with the laws we have as well. The lack of police presence in some cities is another issue that has led to a rise in crime rates, further destabilizing our communities. Calls to defund the police are very misguided, as we need law enforcement to maintain order and ensure our safety. If people are concerned with police misconduct, the law enforcement can certainly implement more training programs in mental health literacy and tactfulness. Proper training and actions to increase recruitment and retention of qualified and best police officers are essential to address issues of misconduct and build trust between the police and the community. In the face of these challenges, we must come together as a nation to find solutions that benefit all Americans. We cannot turn a blind eye to the struggles of our own people while prioritizing the needs of others. It is time to reevaluate our priorities and focus on rebuilding our communities from within. Only then can we truly claim to be a nation that cares for its citizens and upholds the values of freedom and justice for all. We must address the root causes of these issues, and we must invest in our communities to provide opportunities for all Americans to thrive. We cannot continue to ignore the disparities that exist within our society and expect to move forward as a united nation.